it just keeps getting crazier for the Spurs as a recent report indicates that the Raptors are quietly working on a move for RJ Barrett, and one of the teams linked to the star guard slash forward is the San Antonio Spurs. We have to dive into the report, whether this fit even makes sense, RJ Barrett's stats, and a whole lot more. But it's not just that. We also have some more indications about Brian Wright's master plan when it comes to the NBA draft. And this final update, hopefully on Dylan Harper, well, it indicates that something big is coming for the San Antonio Spurs. We have to dive into this report and much more, all coming up on this episode of Spurs Digest. But before we do, guys, quick reminder, 70% of you still not subscribed. We are pushing and pushing for that 7,500 subscriber goal. Look, you guys have been supporting like crazy. We got daily content coming to you. Thank you for tuning in. Let's start with this Dylan Harper report. Now, before we get into this, just a quick reminder that Dylan Harper is pretty much a lock to be picked at second according to multiple reports, but it's really this recent report from Mark Stein doubling down on what we've all been hearing, and well, I'll show you right here. You know what? Let's take a better look. Here we go. Oh, look at this alternate camera angle. All right. After Gavone's report, Jonathan Gavone, of course, Draft Express, was reporting the Spurs were very likely to take Dylan Harper second. Mark Stein has similar reporting in this case. Rookie of the Year season since winning the May 12th draft lottery, San Antonio has likewise attempted to convey a desire to rival teams that it intends to keep the number 2 overall pick in next month's draft to select Rutgers' Dylan Harper. And look, this is something we've been hearing for a while. And I mean, we take a look at Dylan Harper's games. Actually, we'll go back to this angle here. Like, we know how good of a player this is. I'll run the highlights for you again. We'll see Brian Wright. We know how good he is. I'm part of team Keep Dylan Harper. Draft Dylan Harper. Team DDH. Does that mean something else? I don't know. It doesn't for now. If it does, let me know in the comments. Maybe. But draft Dylan Harper. That's my take, right? I mean, we're talking about trading him for the likes of Giannis, maybe, but whatever. At this point in time, it sure seems like it's a lock for the San Antonio Spurs. But there's two takes with this, right? The one take is, cool, we have another legit insider saying this is what the Spurs are indicating to other teams around the NBA. That, in and of itself, is great. Indications are there. Unless something major changes, we're going to be seeing Dylan Harper put on that Spurs cap. Come the draft at the end of June, we're going to be happy. However, there is a small subset of the fan base, and maybe some of you are included, and I want to hear your thoughts, because this is not where my mind went, but it kind of feels fun to think about it this way. So hear me out. Of them saying, like, oh, by the way, this is just Dylan Harper stats. I don't know if I even said that. I don't think I need to say that. Why am I clarifying for you? You guys know what this is, regardless. There's some people saying, like, look, of course this is what the Spurs are going to say. They're not going to say, hey, we're open to trading number 2, even if they are, because that'll just tank the value of this draft pick. Now, I don't think it'll ever tank it. People know what Dylan Harper is, and I think most other GMs, even if the Spurs said they were trading this pick or they say they're keeping it, I don't think it's going to drastically affect the value of this pick in particular. But you know what? The more I think about it, the more I think, okay, yeah, I mean, the Spurs are telling other teams, no, we're going to keep him. No, we're going to keep him. The more other teams who are maybe interested in Harper might be willing to say, okay, you really want to keep him, but what if? But what if we offer you this? What if we offer you another first-round pick and this star player, you know? And that got me thinking, it's like, you know, I love that gamesmanship within sports. Now, I'm not saying that's necessarily what the Spurs are doing here, but it wouldn't surprise me if behind closed doors, the Spurs are secretly discussing, hey, what kind of package would it take to move Dylan Harper? And again, just to make this clear, I'm team draft Dylan Harper. I think he's going to be a San Antonio Spur. But I do like exploring these fun possibilities, right? And hey, that's going to dive right into this trade rumor coming up next. So let me know your thoughts on this down below. I mean, I think this is just the legit report. It is what the Spurs plan is, and that's, you know, Occam's razor. That's what's going to happen here at the end of the day. But I love the idea that there's some gamesmanship behind this, and that just in case, we might want to think about, just in case, what it would take for the Spurs to trade it. But anyway, that's just a bit of a fun topic. But so was this next one, to be honest. As look, obviously we're hearing a lot of trade talks, right? We're hearing Giannis, we're hearing KD, blah, blah, all this kind of stuff. I mean, we're hearing a bunch of different names. But there was an interesting tweet I came across earlier, and you might have seen this maybe on YouTube, maybe online somewhere, but I wanted to talk about this as well. And alternate camera angle. Here we go. Oh, I like this. This is kind of fun. This is the different camera. Oh, it's kind of cool. The Toronto Raptors, according to Chris Davis on Twitter, are quietly assessing trade possibilities for RJ Barrett, league sources state. The Atlanta Hawks, Sacramento Kings, Chicago Bulls, and San Antonio Spurs are all showing early interest that could intensify as the draft approaches. And if we just dive right into RJ Barrett's stats, I mean, what a phenomenal player he is. I mean, Canadian boy playing for the Canadian team, Toronto Raptors. I mean, it just makes perfect sense. Averaging 21 points the game this year, 6.5 boards, 5.5 assists, only 3 turnovers, 47 from the field, 35 from 3. I mean, look, RJ Barrett is a very, very good player. So why would the Raptors be looking to move on from him? Well, for one reason, I mean, he definitely is still young. He's just about 25 years old. He'll turn 25 there in early June. But the thing with RJ Barrett is like, yeah, he's good. Is he a needle mover on what the Raptors are trying to build long term? Look, the Raptors have a lot of nice young pieces. They're looking to build towards the future. Can RJ be that guy? I don't know if he needs to be that guy. Regardless of the situation in Toronto, it wouldn't entirely shock me to hear that they were open to moving him. I mean, Barrett's been on the Knicks. He's on the Raptors. He's a great player. Is he conducive to really winning as the number 1 or 2 option? Is that where Toronto sees him? Of course, they got Scotty Barnes. They got a lot of other young guys. So the idea that they could move him while his value is still quite high, honestly, after a really nice season, is not totally impossible. However, the fact that the Spurs are linked is what has me a little bit confused. Now, again, first of all, I want to go back to this report. This is Chris Davis. I can't tell if I want to believe this or not. So, like, regardless, I'm talking about this because I have a ton of fun talking about this stuff with you guys. I think you guys enjoy this too. Like, even seeing this. Like, look, Chris Davis has gotten lots of stuff wrong from what I've seen on Twitter, but he got a lot of the De'Aaron Fox details right when that whole trade went down. So, I don't really know what to believe, but I'm going to take this for face value just in the spirit of discussing it because I don't have the personal sources, but I can definitely talk about RJ Barrett, and I think it's a lot of fun, and I think you guys think it's a lot of fun too. I hope. Anyway, back into this RJ Barrett conversation. When you look at the San Antonio Spurs, like, the fact that the Spurs are even named in this tweet, whether there are credible sources behind it or not, is a little bit insane to me. How does this help the Spurs? Like, who are you giving up if you're trading for RJ Barrett? Because right now, a lot of the problem has been wing depth. I mean, Barrett has played anything from point guard to small forward in his NBA career, and I just think he's Canadian. NHL hockey. Ugh. Anyway, but in his NBA career, he's played everything from the 1 to the 3 and probably some minutes at the 4. I don't know. He probably hasn't. But, like, that's right where the Spurs have a big backlog, right? And obviously you're not trading the number 2 overall pick or anything like that for RJ Barrett, so you assume Dylan Harper's on the San Antonio Spurs in this world. So you have De'Aaron Fox, you have Stephon Castle, you have Dylan Harper, and you have Devin Vassell. Which one of those guys would you even be willing to trade for Barrett? Vassell is the closest, but I don't see why you would ever trade Vassell for RJ Barrett. I think Vassell, in his role, and again, once he gets back to being healthy, especially with his very good catch and shoot metrics, which, as I've stated in previous videos and that one on Sam Hauser, their catch and shoot 3-point percentages are not that different. Like, Vassell, it's a long contract, $27 million a year for 4 more years. Like, we know that might age well, it might not. He was hurt this year. But I don't see how adding a guy like RJ Barrett actually helps you at all. Like, you can't convince me that Devin Vassell in Toronto wouldn't be putting up similar numbers. I think Barrett's a bit better of a playmaker, but I think Vassell, especially when he was drafted, had this incredibly high defensive pedigree, and he hasn't quite lived up to it at the NBA level yet, but especially coming off a foot injury, I can see him absolutely getting back into form. So it just keeps getting crazier for me. Like, these names that are linked to the Spurs in one way or another. I know the Giannis, the KDs, all the biggest draft targets, free agents, because of Victor Wembanyama. A lot of people are naturally linking these players or picks or whatever to the San Antonio Spurs. But not everyone makes sense. Like, this to me makes no sense. I don't ever see a world where RJ Barrett comes to San Antonio. Like, not with the way the roster is constructed at this moment, but maybe I'm the one that's crazy. Maybe you guys have a good idea for RJ Barrett, and if you do, let me know down below whether you believe this or not, or whether you think the Spurs could actually make this a realistic target. I'd love to hear from you, but listen, that'll do it for this episode of Spurs Digest. If you enjoyed, leave a like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe to the channel, guys. Hit that free button. You made it this far into the video, almost 9 minutes. I think I've earned it at this point. I've been your host, Josh Gosse, and I'll catch you in the next one.